Hey everyone, this is Bathmetrics. It's November 24th, hours before the launch of Vital. I'm doing an update to a video that I put out yesterday that was talking about Vital Synth browser tips and tricks. Now that we're very, very close to launch and I was able to test the default starting library for the basic plan, I was doing some pre-testing to make sure that these would reset correctly. I have a few updates to what I was telling you yesterday about tricks for making the browser in Vital work the way you want and be organized the way you want. So let me just do a quick rundown of what's going on. When you first load up Vital after launch, you're going to have a preset structure down here that is going to have a whole bunch of different top-level banks. Now, we're looking at the basic pack. You get 75 presets with the basic version and 25 wavetables. So this is what we're looking at right here. If you have purchased the Plus or Pro version, you'll see a lot more presets and wavetables. And of course, subscribe, you'll also see a lot more by default. And I'll let Matt explain subscribe to you better than I could. So these are the banks that come in the basic version with 75 presets. So we have 3 or 4 from Afro, 6 from Data Broth, a few factory banks, Glork, Glunk, Halcyon in the mix, and so on. Even got some from Mr. Bill, Inktome, Navi, Retlav, Yuli, Lolo, right? So you're going to see these by default. And depending on how you like to organize your presets, right, this list is going to grow a lot over the years. Like, it's just going to be every new Vital bank you purchase and install is going to, by default, throw each new bank at the top, right? And maybe if you buy extended presets by the same person, those presets will end up in the same top-level bank. I don't know, or they might be a different one. Like if there's an extended bank by Data Broth, that might show up as a top-level folder next to the default Data Broth folder. I don't know. This is beta. In some respects, I'm as in the dark as you are, right? So the point is, whatever structure you end up with here, if over time it grows too large or you don't like a bank structure that looks like this, I'm going to show you how to change it, because you do have a lot of flexibility with how you can modify this, but there are a few. In the first video, I said there are no constraints, but actually after a little bit more discussion internally in the beta community yesterday, it turns out there is a small constraint, but it's a very small constraint. So I'm going to explain all that. So let's show you how to get to this level set, especially if you've downloaded preview copies or you've been in the beta community and you don't stay on top of the beta community as much as usual. Here's the trick. On PC, it's in your user documents folder. You end up with a Vital folder. And this is what we're looking at with the default install for the basic version of Vital. Here's the factory bank, and it has 4 subfolders. If we go to one of the other specific banks where, for example, there might only be presets, then under that bank, there will only be a presets folder. So you can, if you have a bank already from being in the beta community or early pre-access versions that some people might have gotten, you can clean this out and start from scratch very safely and easily. It's super, super easy. You can literally take, like, here's my old beta bank, and I had it organized a totally different way. You can simply rename it. Name it something different. Make sure Vital is closed down and not open anywhere. Rename your old bank so that there's no longer a bank simply called, rename your old folder in your documents area so that it's no longer called Vital, right? And so then you start up Vital, and when you first start Vital, it'll pop up a dialog saying, I'm going to download stuff for you. And you say yes, install it. And then when it's done, you'll have a brand new Vital folder that'll be all clean with whatever your version of Vital should be giving you, right? You may have more top-level banks than this. Okay, so that's how you reset it. And then you can, of course, open up your other archived bank in a different window. And you can do whatever kind of manual copy and paste you want from all your old stuff. Like, you know, as I showed you in the last video, I have tons and tons of presets from lots of people during the beta of Vital. So some of these I'll probably want to copy and paste over here into my real Vital bank as I do cleanup and getting things set up the way I want. Okay, so here's the one and only real restraint or constraint that you have on how you need to organize your Vital folder. You can just ignore doing anything special. And when you buy a Vital bank or get a new Vital bank with your subscription or, whatever, if you install the Vital bank through the normal menu, import bank, right? When you import a Vital bank, it's going to just toss it into the Vital folder, probably at the same top level as every bank that you've already got, right? I don't know how smart the bank merging will be, if it's by the same author or content creator as before. I don't know. But regardless, the basic default structure works like this. You have a bank name first. These are the bank names. And then inside of each bank, you might have up to 4 specifically named folders for your LFOs, your presets, samples, and your wavetables. These folder names must exist either at the second level of the Vital folder, so like bank name, and then within the bank, up to 4 folders with these specific names. Or these specific names can exist as your topmost level folders, right? So like instead of seeing all this, I could just have 4 folders here, one for LFOs, one's for samples, one for wavetables, and one for presets. So you could, for example, if you wanted to create a completely different structure that was all organized by genre instead of by who made the bank, right? You could start with 4 folders at this top level called, like if I do presets and then put in wavetables. And so on, right? You could start out and set up your 4 basic folders that need to have these specific names: presets, wavetables, everything you see here in the factory folder, right? Look here, these are the names you need. And then once you have those 4 folders up here at this level, you could move everything from these named banks inside of here. And Vital will know what to do with it. It'll know to look in a top level folder named presets to find all the presets. Okay, and it will look in a top level folder called wavetables to find all the wavetables, and so on. Let's get rid of those for now because we don't need them yet. So that's one option for you, is to like start with these 4 folders at the top level. And then inside those folders, you can do anything you want. And that's the other main tip, right? It's like, let's say you want to keep this default bank structure because for whatever reason that works for you, that's easier for you. So in any given folder, like let's say you're friends with Databroth, and on the side, Databroth gives you some special wavetables that they made, right? You could just go into the Databroth bank and add a wavetables folder. And then you could go to, just to show you as an example, you could go to Databroth folder from, oops, let's go to the old one. No, he doesn't have wavetables here. Sorry. All right, so I've got some old bunch of beta wavetables from Databroth, right? I could take all these files and just put them in this wavetables folder here under my Databroth bank. And now all those Databroth wavetables would show up in the preset browser for wavetables when I come over here and say, show me wavetables, right? So see, because I created a folder, Vital already sees it, but it's empty because I didn't actually put any wavetables in there. It's that fast. You don't have to close and reopen or anything. It just automatically reads the structure of whatever you've created over here in this folder structure. So again, this is kind of advanced for people who like to have their own organization for presets, but if you're like me, over time you get tons and tons of presets, and after a while just a mishmash who made the preset approach doesn't work so well, and you typically end up finding some other way to organize your presets. This is how to do it, is as long as you are at either the first level of your Vital folder or the second level in any given folder, any given top level bank folder, you want to have up to 4 folders: presets, LFOs, samples, and wavetables. And then inside those, like if I wanted to have a whole bunch of crazy subfolders inside of the presets folder for the in the mix bank, I could create as many subfolders as I want, organize them by like, okay, these are dubstep presets, these are rhythm presets, these are, well, those are kind of the same thing really, I guess. These are mid-tempo presets, these are D&B presets, and I could have subfolders inside here to sort of subcategorize whatever was in this bank, right? You could do the same thing with wavetables. Let's say there's wavetables that are more spectral in nature, and then there's other wavetables that are kind of basic shapes in nature. If there was a wavetable bank here in this wavetable subfolder, rather, inside this bank for in the mix, I could organize that wavetables folder into as many different subfolders as I wanted. And that all plays out again when you are trying to filter what you're seeing, like the factory bank of wavetables. If we click one more time, we can see that there's 3 different subfolders in the factory bank of wavetables with basic shapes, complex shapes, and some physical modeling shapes, right? And again, you can see that reflected over here. I think I want this one. So if we go back to Vital, Factory, and jump into wavetables, there is your 3 subfolders that match what you see here. So again, I don't know if the final user guide from Vital will go into this detail. Probably not, but for me, organizing all my presets and sample libraries and stuff is always a big deal because it speeds up my workflow and finding stuff. So I figured this could be a useful tip for people getting their arms around Vital. Hope this has been helpful, and have fun.